I wanted to share with you today a personal experience I had recently that was highly disappointing, and three of the really powerful frameworks that I've used to try and navigate it. It was regarding a business opportunity. I work as a coach, and I also love business, and I've run some businesses in the past, and I'm always looking for business opportunities to get involved with, whether investing or operating or partnering. And one of the things that really interests me is building communities and physical communities. I think that one of the problems in our society today is living in these boxes with 1 to 5 other people, and being separate from tribe and community is not the ideal way that humans live together. Supporting each other, raising children, supporting each other with meals, sharing resources, I think is a much more efficient and connected way of living. And so there's various community building opportunities that I've been looking into over the years. And a few months ago, I heard about one, and a friend said that the guy leading the project was a great guy and trusted my friend and felt like the project was really aligned. My inner knowing was telling me, this project is for you, Stefan. And I immediately jumped in and committed to spending time on this land and giving of my time and energy and life force, without any formal commitment of what my role was going to be, or whether there'd be any compensation. And in the end, I ended up stepping away from the project because it felt like the leadership was not operating at a level of awareness that I am interested in being involved with. And it was highly disappointing. There was a part of me thinking, well, my inner knowing was clear that this is for me to do. And I showed up generous and giving, and didn't feel welcomed. And so, I guess I'm looking for the silver lining, and I think I know the silver lining here. I ended up coaching the founder of the project, and reminded me that coaching is my gift. Coaching is my greatest gift to the world. And though I can engage in business opportunities, really bringing my coaching to those business opportunities is going to be the way for me to make the best impact that I can make for most projects. So that was one insight, is to really recognize that, yes, I can be involved in that project, but really bring the skill sets that are my greatest strengths. And a second point that came to me was really understanding that the challenges that the founder had with welcoming me in were coming from his own projections. And by projection, what I mean is an idea that one has in the subconscious about how things should or shouldn't be in the world, specifically about oneself, judgments about oneself, how one should or shouldn't be in the world, that are then subconsciously projected onto another person. And this often comes with an emotional response. People feel triggered, upset, frustrated, anxious, scared of another person. It's often because the person that's triggering us is very much like us, and they invoke these feelings that we have towards ourselves. And so I was able to really see that, because this is one of the processes that I work with in my coaching, and was able to, not completely, but mostly maintain equanimity or peacefulness around this experience of being judged as things that were incorrect, and also really material from this other person's own subconscious that they were working through. And so I had to bring patience and curiosity, and really do my best to see this person with compassion. And it was disappointing, and I have learned. I don't know if you've heard my story before, but I used to be highly emotionally reactive and rageful in my youth. And so I feel very happy about having been able to have patience and compassion when there was also a big emotional charge in me around really like giving my gifts and jumping in and committing to a project that I believed in without having reciprocation of appreciation and energy and welcoming. And then the third point that I want to make is, part of one of my men's groups, New Year's group session, we did a process around what is dying in the winter here and the end of the year and what is being born. And what my statement there was, what is dying in me is naivety. That I feel like I jumped in without really vetting the person who I was getting involved with. And, I like to trust, I like to, be excited, and I like to really, just trust my inner knowing because I have a clear access to that at times, not always, but when I do, I love to just dive in and listen to it. And what I processed with my own coach was, when my inner knowing is that clear and it knows this is for me, maybe instead of jumping in with like a younger part of me that's really excited and just wants to get in there, to sit back and be patient and let the more adult, what he calls the driver, the part that's driving me and driving my decisions, let my adult driver vet the person, vet the project, vet the situation, take some time to really explore it. So then when I do commit, I've done two things. I've, one, had my inner knowing, that clear, grounded, trustable voice guide me, this is for me to do. And two, use my adult driver to vet and look at and kind of, really decide from a more cognitive place, a more analytical place, and confirm that both my analytical and my inner knowing like this project. Because what happens to me oftentimes is when I jump in quickly just with my inner knowing's voice, and then things start to get wobbly with a relationship or a project or something where I start to have doubt come in, or fear or emotions like frustration, that it's easy to jump ship for me if I haven't fully vetted with my analytical, with my more adult driver. If the adult driver has spent time really looking at the project or the person or the relationship or the commitment and has assessed it as well, when I get to that point of having doubt or emotion or frustration and that part of me wants to eject and do something else, it's easier for me to stay committed because I've got both that inner knowing as a reminder and the analytical confirmation of having vetted the project and feel good about both of those voices being in agreement that this is something for me to do. So I feel grateful for the experience. I met great people, and I have got some clarity, in how I want to engage further. And my new commitment for 2021 is powerful discernment in service. That is what I'm committed to this year, rather than the naive inner knowing, just kind of, well, I don't want to say the inner knowing's naive, but the naive decision in me that just because my friend said, hey, this is a great guy and a great project, and my inner knowing saying this is for me to do, that I'm not going to rush in, just like the movie, the romantic comedy Fools Rush In. The inner knowing, I still want to encourage to really use that as a guiding point, and like I'm doing, consider using the analytical adult driver to also vet decisions without chopping them up. You want to be cautious because the analytical voice can be skeptical. So just wanting to make sure in using the analytical that there's not too much doubt coming in, which can happen. So thanks for listening. Just want to share a little bit about what I've been struggling with and learning and moving forward in my own journey, and appreciate you watching. Would love to hear any comments and questions, and always appreciate your positive support. Wishing you all a wonderful day.